What is going on, everybody? It is your sweet boy Yammie Noob back at it once again. Not wearing glasses today because that light was causing a crazy glare, so we're doing it sans glasses. Today is a special day. Today's a very good day. A very good day. We will be looking at Triumph's leaked photos of their new Daytona 765. If you don't know, I am possibly the biggest evangelist of Triumph's Daytona 675 and their 675R motorcycles. I have actually owned two of their 675Rs, much to their chagrin and probably their marketing department's chagrin. I have totaled both of them, which was unfortunate. I crashed both of those bikes. But I can't say anything but good things about that motorcycle. The 675 and 675R. Not only do I love that engine, I love that chassis, I love the way it flicks, I love the way it looks, I love the way it sounds. I love pretty much everything about the Daytona. It's probably my favorite motorcycle of all time. So when I saw the news that Triumph is going to put their 765 Moto2 derived engine from the Street Triple and the Moto2 program into the Daytona platform, I was extremely excited. I have not ridden the 765 Triple yet, which is a shame, but I've heard that it's an absolute peach of an engine. It's torquier than the 675 was. It is higher revving. It's just a better engine overall. And I know that Triumph is going to take some of their learnings from the Moto2 program and put it into the Daytona. So why don't we take a look at this article from motorcyclenews.com and see what's going on with this new 765. Before we do, if you haven't, click subscribe down there. It's free. You get notified of all the videos I make as well by clicking the bell. And it's just a good time. We're giving away motorcycles here. This is, you know what? I'm just going to say it. This is the best motorcycle channel on YouTube. So let's get started. Daytona 765. All right, so let's take a look at this really quick. So you got to remember, these are spy shots. The bike is obviously not complete yet. There's still early development. And these early shots, you know, it's kind of looking more like a evolution rather than a revolution. It doesn't look like the bike has been massively revamped for this 765. What I'm gonna think they're gonna do is maybe adjust the chassis a little bit to fit that bigger engine and then kind of call it a day. Triumph spent a lot of time revamping and revitalizing this chassis in 2013 when they came out with the second generation of the 675 Daytona platform. This motorcycle, if you guys don't know, in 2006, I believe it was, Triumph came out with the first 3-cylinder variant of the Daytona in the 675 category. That was with the undertail exhaust. It looked really cool. It was really well received by everyone. And then in 2013, they kind of shocked everyone by coming out with an even more updated version of that higher revving engine, even better. And so I think that this is going to be following along that tradition of just kind of mildly evolving the platform rather than completely redoing everything, because they have a bike that just plain works, you know? And you gotta remember, when we first got news that Triumph was gonna be the supplier, the engine supplier for the Moto2 program back in like 2017, everyone's been wondering if they were going to put that engine in the Daytona chassis, because it only makes sense. The issue is that Triumph has always had trouble selling these Daytonas, even though I think, and I've probably sold a lot of them for them just by me talking about them, it is not really a super profit-leading motorcycle for them. They do much better with the Bonnevilles, the Street Twins, the Street Triples, even the Tigers, the ADV class of bikes, than they do with the Daytona. The Daytona is a very small volume motorcycle sold. Anyway, let's keep going through this. So these images were taken in Spain. These are the latest shots we have of them. You know, it's probably going to have the TFT display, I would assume. This one looks like an R-Spec model. The ergonomics look just as committed as the old model was. Bodywork looks a little bit revitalized, a little bit updated. It doesn't look too dissimilar, though, from the current generation 675. What else we got going on here? And yeah, the article mentions that this could be an even newer line of their TFC models. It could have like a super high spec engine, carbon bodywork, all kinds of really cool stuff. And so yeah, as I mentioned, the swing arm, the undertail, the frame, Some of the contours of the fairings look extremely similar to the old model, which is, again, not a bad thing in my opinion. I think if it's not broke, don't fix it. And it is an incredible motorcycle, so I don't think they really need to change that much here. And again, this article goes on to talk about how the suspension likely at the front is going to be the Öhlins NIX 30 unit, which is a super highly adjustable, super high spec front suspension component, but the TTX rear shock is probably going to be the same from the outgoing model right now. Although I don't know of any other middle class bike where you can get Öhlins front and rear from the factory, so that is still a really cool feature on the Daytona in my opinion. One of the few bikes that I think, other than super top spec leader bikes, you know, is pretty much just ready to go right out of the box for some hardcore track use in my opinion. So yeah, the one thing I'm really excited about this bike is that it's gonna have the TFT dash. I assume I would be very confused and kind of like, it just seems really doubtful that Triumph would leave the dash alone after spending so much R&D and money into the TFT display that's on the new Street Triple, for example. So I'm sure they'll kind of put that technology over into the new Daytona. But the thing I'm really excited about that the Daytona never had was rider modes. The 600 class bikes, except for the Kawasaki ZX6R, I believe, don't have a whole lot of like rider aids and different modes and that kind of stuff. We've seen that in the middleweight category for naked bikes, but not as much for middleweight and 600 class sport bikes. So this is going to be a really awesome addition to it. I would assume that as part of this new traction control system and rider aid stuff, that it's going to probably have a throttle by wire, which kind of sucks because one of the best things about the Daytona was its throttle by cable. It was still an old school cable actuated throttle that opened and closed the throttle body, which just made the throttle feel so good on the Daytona. But from everything I've heard about the Street Triple, the new ones that are throttle by wire, they feel amazing. Throttle by wire has a bit of a connotation of being a little snatchy, a little snickety. Whereas a cable throttle, when properly tuned, in my opinion, is pretty hard to beat, and it's just such a nice feeling. The other thing they're talking about here also, which I don't know if they'll actually include, but it's been pretty popular on newer spec leader bikes, is quick shifters up and down. My Daytona, the 675R, had a up quick shifter but no down quick shifter. And to be honest, I've used up and down quick shifters before. I don't love them. I think that I actually really prefer, I love banging up quick shifters when you're hard on the throttle and you're just banging up through the gears. That feels amazing. But I actually still like having to pull in the clutch for downshifts and to rev match, you know, the old-fashioned way, as it were. But if it comes with a bidirectional quick shifter, I'm not going to be, you know, upset. I think that's a cool evolution of the bike. I think it's so funny how Triumph has been sort of back and forth on whether or not they're going to actually release this bike. So it's just really cool to see spy shots of it because it is such a special motorcycle and it's so good. I tell you guys all the time, like if you haven't ridden one of these bikes and maybe you've only ridden 600s or 1000s, like give this thing a shot because the triple engine is just so unique. It's so different. It has totally different character for the way it makes its power, especially low in the rev range. But, you know, Triumph has been back and forth on whether or not they're going to make this. There's been rumors back and forth on, you know, oh, like I've got insider information. They're going to launch it. They're not going to launch it. It's just been kind of funny to see. But, you know, this article is saying that with Moto2 kicking off in March 10th, it would probably not arrive until maybe like late 2019, maybe even early 2020. So we have no idea, but it is cool that it is being made. And if it is going to be made and if deposits are being taken, I will put a deposit down so fast it'll make your head spin because I love these bikes and having a bit of a bump of torque up from the old one would make it just so good in my opinion. So good. This is so exciting to see that they're going to actually put the 765 Daytona up for sale. But that's kind of all the news we have on it, really. And one thing to note, too, is the Daytona has been missing from Triumph's lineup since 2018 due to Euro 4 emissions. It wasn't able to keep up with those. And, you know, a lot of people worried that they weren't gonna make another one anymore. So it's really great to see that they're back into it. So yeah, it's super exciting to see the Daytona probably going to make a comeback in 2020 with the 765 engine. Honestly, that's probably going to make it the most perfect motorcycle ever made in existence. What do you guys think? Am I just a fanboy? Are you excited to see the new 765 Daytona? Have you ridden one? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll catch you guys next time. See you later.